What's been shaking up the world in just the last few days? Let's dive into the critical global news you need to know and what it really means for us all. Geopolitical flashpoints and conflicts, Russia-Ukraine war, escalations and legal accountability. The conflict in Ukraine saw significant changes, highlighting U.S. military aid, intensified Russian offensives, and a pivotal legal decision. U.S. weapons transfers and policy shifts. A brief interruption in U.S. weapon transfers by Secretary Hegseth created tension. Soon after, President Trump took a firm stance, denouncing Putin and vowing enhanced military backing. On July 10th, he disclosed NATO weapon sales, which included Patriot systems for Ukraine. By July 11th, shipments of previously stalled munitions, like artillery rounds and GMLRS rockets, resumed. This underscores the U.S. commitment to support Ukraine's defense. Russian aerial assaults and sabotage. In response to Trump's remarks, Russia executed its most significant drone assault on July 9th, deploying 728 drones and 13 missiles primarily targeting Kyiv. While successfully repelled, it revealed Russia's offensive capabilities. European officials cautioned against a sabotage initiative steered by Russia throughout Europe. A British court convicted 3 individuals for a 2024 warehouse fire linked to Moscow, highlighting the ongoing risks. In retaliation, Ukraine attacked a Russian pipeline, expanding its conflict strategies. International legal accountability. On July 9th, the ECHR ruled that Russia was accountable for widespread human rights violations in occupied Ukraine since 2014. This verdict pointed to an organized system of violations, involving indiscriminate assaults, torture, and illegal detentions. It also held Russia responsible for the 2014 downing of flight MH17, representing a crucial move toward accountability for war crimes. Other developments. Kyiv earmarked $6.2 million for its Clean Sky initiative aimed at developing interceptor drones. Ukrainian intelligence deemed Russia's ambition of capturing Donetsk by 2025 as unrealistic. President Zelensky urged global leaders for a Marshall Plan, proposing to use frozen Russian assets, $450 billion, for Ukraine's post-war recovery. Israel-Hamas conflict, ceasefire stalemate and humanitarian concerns. The Israel-Hamas conflict remains at a standstill, leading to a dire humanitarian crisis. Recent ceasefire negotiations. U.S. envoy Steve Witkoff expressed hope for a ceasefire on July 9th. Yet after Trump's meeting with Netanyahu, there was no advancement. The core issue lies in Hamas's demand for a total Israeli withdrawal and a lasting ceasefire. Meanwhile, Israel insists on maintaining military presence to prevent attacks. Netanyahu is resolved to continue until Hamas is defeated, reflecting contrasting visions for peace. Humanitarian City Plan. Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz directed military plans for a humanitarian city in Rafah. This initiative aims to concentrate Gaza's population, but faced fierce international criticism. Experts labeled it a crime against humanity, and the UN condemned its inhumane character. Humanitarian crisis. Over 2 million residents of Gaza desperately require aid, grappling with famine threats and limited access. A July 8th report alleged that Hamas employs sexual violence in warfare, piling on severe war crime accusations amid evidence issues. USAID representatives raised alarms regarding the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation's ability to deliver aid effectively. U.S. domestic and international policy shifts. The Trump administration implemented notable shifts in immigration policy, clean energy, and trade, marking a more protectionist era. Immigration policies, enforcement, and legal challenges. The administration aggressively pursued immigration enforcement, facing numerous legal battles. On July 4th, Trump signed a $170 billion bill focused on enforcement, border security, and halted healthcare aid for immigrant families. It postponed TPS for Hondurans and Nicaraguans until September 2025. A federal judge temporarily blocked an executive order aimed at ending birthright citizenship on July 11th, challenging Trump's jurisdiction. The following day saw another ruling that halted indiscriminate immigration arrests in California. Tensions heightened when a driver injured 3 anti-ICE protesters in New Jersey. Agriculture Chief Brooke Rollins acknowledged that mass deportations could harm the U.S. food supply. Clean energy funding cuts, policy shift and industry impact. Trump canceled clean energy tax credits on July 7th, asserting an end to taxpayer subsidies for green initiatives. This decision impacts 1,512 projects, particularly in Texas and California. The proposed FY25 budget indicates substantial cuts to solar and wind energy funding. Trade tensions with China intensified, accompanied by new tariffs on key partners. On July 8th, Trump sought to ban Chinese acquisitions of U.S. farmland, citing national security concerns. China denounced this action. On July 12th, Trump announced 30% tariffs on goods from Mexico and the EU, citing drug trafficking and trade discrepancies. Mexico dubbed these tariffs unfair, while the EU indicated possible countermeasures, signaling a looming trade conflict. ICC arrest warrants for Taliban leaders, a stand for gender justice. On July 9th, the ICC issued arrest warrants for Taliban leaders over gender persecution. This action seeks accountability for violations of women's rights in Afghanistan. The Taliban dismissed these claims. Human rights organizations welcomed the warrants, reinforcing the path for justice. To help this content grow, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share your support.